Okay, so my previous video was talking about The Thing and what it's like to be a collector of one particular film and how many goddamn versions of it I got and whether it was a good thing or a bad thing. In that case, good thing. You know, I was comparing it to a slightly lesser release being the Scream Factory release when I'm comparing it to the rest of the stuff that I have. The Turbine set, the 4K UHD. Do I need the Scream Factory? I decided not. But now we're going to talk about Pirates of the Caribbean because a lot of people didn't get this set. And do I have it? Not anymore. This is a rarity for me. I've never had to do this. I've been so disgraced from a film transfer that I've had to... You can't return that shit half the time once you've opened it and watched it. So I sold it on eBay instead. I made like an extra $5 back. I spent $50. It was around $50, $52 because I paid bit in cash, bit on card. Christmas money, so it wasn't even my money, which is great. I got it for free. So basically I got free money out of it in the end. Well, I mean, it was free money anyway. I got the free money back. Plus a few extra dollars. Basically interest. I bought the 5-pack collector set. Image doesn't exist because it doesn't exist anymore. They erased it from the internet. Thank you, JB Hi-Fi. No, legitimately, they had it on pre-order in like November, December period, and I picked it up on Boxing Day. And it was like, again, like down from 75-ish, it was like 30% off. 5-pack 4K. Bargain. Fucking $10 a film, are you kidding me? Sure, the 4th and 5th film were trash, but hey, that's 3 good movies for 4K. That's a good price. And then it all started to sink in why this was a bad idea after I bought it. So firstly, not a single review in sight. Why is that? Oh, the American release doesn't come out till January 1st at the earliest, and that's only the first movie? That's kind of weird. Why does a 5-disc set not exist literally anywhere else? The only other 4K would be for Dead Men Tell No Tales, otherwise known as Salazar's Revenge. Depends which country you're from. I like Dead Men Tell No Tales. It's a mouthful, but it's kind of quirky. It's a bad film, though. So... And I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, shit. Okay, so what do I have currently on the table? I have a 3-disc Blu-ray set from the UK, which is just the film for the first 3 films. It advertises a 4th one, which I have separately. My dad bought that, which came with a Blu-ray and a DVD. We had grown up with the DVD sets with all the special features. My Blu-ray set didn't have special features at all. Slim packaging. I don't mind that. Theatrical artwork, I like that. So benefits, pros and cons. But absolutely no special features. And sure, the other Blu-rays that come with the special feature disc is just an extra disc. The first disc is the exact same as the ones I already had. So, okay, get the 4K. Got the 4K, watched it on my TV, and I'm like, originally I was just going to scan through it, but I hadn't thought about comparing it to the Blu-ray. So I was just watching it. My dad comes in, so he watched the whole goddamn movie. And I'm like, it looks fine. Fine. Something was a bit off. The whole time, something was a bit off. It didn't seem as dark as a lot of people mentioned. I think the darkness levels were fine. There were some scenes that were very obviously not, really, when you look at it. But my TV settings, I guess, were fine. Audio-wise, I listened to the Dolby Atmos track, and it was nothing to run home about. Okay. So far, not worth my money. Then I look at the I stand like this fucking close to my TV because it's right there. And, no, this is a bad idea. So, obviously, a few days later, this is actually on New Year's Eve, because a review had come out saying, like, I looked at the reviews and they were saying that it looks really bad. I'm thinking, nah, you gotta be kidding me. So I watched it. I didn't watch the sequels at all. I didn't want to waste my time on that because I knew that the visuals immediately were a big problem. Now, of course, looking at Reddit and subforums and shit like that, you realize, oh, they've put this transfer on Disney Plus already in, like, Dolby Vision, and it looks like crap. And now it's just HDR10. No word on Dolby Vision, no word on HDR10 Plus, actually no word on even being HDR10. I just had to assume that it was. That's not a good sign if your packaging is that fucking bad. It was really awful packaging. Like, I didn't mind it was a 1-disc thing, like a standard case with, like, a thing in the middle, so you had all 5 plus an extra slot, so I could put the Blu-ray for the 4th film in it, which is great, easy for me. Obviously, took that out when I sold it, because like a few days later, this is like very early 2022, maybe the 3rd or 4th of the month, and I'm watching the video by someone who I really like, Films at Home, and he's reviewing the Pirates of the Caribbean first film on 4K, because that's all that the Americans got. And he's talking about all these elements to it. I'm thinking, fuck, he's right, isn't he? You know, like I'm looking at, like, he's showing like different images from the Blu-ray to the 4K, and then I come back in here. I don't even finish the video. I come back in here and I chuck on the Blu-ray. Outside of it not having any special goddamn features, I compare the fucking movie transfer, which I'd already briefly done, and I was like, it looks grainier and stuff. But then I like really fucking looked into it, because I was like in denial. And I have been there, but I was in that mental space. Anyway, it was a bad joke. And suddenly I'm like looking at it, I'm like, fuck. Like, I had already benefited myself in one main degree here. I realised I didn't own the special features, so on New Year's Day, I went to JB Hi-Fi, which is our regular retail here in Australia, and they had the 30% off, but they also had a 2 for 20. So if you've seen my latest January haul, you'll have noticed that, yes, I bought the first 3 films. They did come with specific cover art that was like in a matching set. I don't mind it whatsoever. I have the extra discs. That's good for me. That's all I wanted. You know, I have the special features on DVD, but I wanted them for myself. Those are my dad's. So now I've got the first 3 films on 3 individual 2-disc sets. I've got the first 3 films as 3 individual films as a 1-disc set in a box, which is just a slipcover with 3 individual packets, which are really, really slim. And then I got the 4K UHD, plus the 4th one separately, but that's not mine, it's Dad's. So it's like, okay, fuck, what do I do here? So I'm like, okay, realistically, the 4K, that can go on eBay. I look at the sales, no one had bought it, because it was as if it never existed to begin with. There was like a few sales saying it had gone for about 60 odd bucks, so I listed it for 80 plus 10 bucks postage. I'm like, it's got a best offer. This is at like 2 o'clock in the fucking morning, because it's like, I don't have work, because I'm in isolation, fuck it, I'm just going to list this bitch and see what happens. And so, I'm like, okay, I've got these 2 different Blu-rays. I will leave the casual 1-disc sets on the shelf. If I want to watch it with the special features, I just grab the ones from behind. See these slots here? They have room behind. That's where I keep the spare Blu-rays. So I at least have the original 3 in the best versions possible currently, plus an extra 3 set, which I will most likely give to Dad when I move out, if it ever fucking happens. I'm being thoughtful and foresightful. I like being that. It's cool. It's like how I keep extra Blu-rays and DVDs around when I upgrade. I'm like, my dad can have that when I leave. Imagine all these fucking things gone. So, still, I know. And then I've got the 4K, so I list it up. I wake up the next morning, I got a $40 offer, plus postage, so 50 bucks, but I won't be getting the money back that I want to get. I'm like thinking, okay, that's a terrible offer. I thought, well, it's such a low ball, but at the same time, I understand what they're going for. And then you got a guy who's like, oh, here's $66, I can pick it up. Obviously, I still lose like $10 in fees, so I got like $56.84 or whatever, and I'm like, cool. The guy picked it up like a day later. Perfect. Easy peasy. I got my money back. And it's just like, you know, I put myself in this nightmare. Sure, I get an extra like $4 to $5 out of it. But did I need to put myself in this nightmare? Yes, I did. Because otherwise I wouldn't have bought the Blu-rays at a really goddamn cheap price. Basically $7 a Blu-ray, including special features. And better transfers. I know I have Disney Plus. I know, I get it. But I like having things in physical, alright? And I know I already had the Blu-rays, but I wanted to get the special feature discs. Because these are really good movies. So, at least the first 3. So yeah. That's my craziest fucking shit journey with Pirates of the Caribbean and how goddamn annoying some of these goddamn releases can be. Now, in all fairness, I do have the worst known 4K transfer ever made, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Maybe there's a poster here, if not, who cares, but you get the goddamn point. Have I ever returned that 4K? No, I didn't bother at all. I've kept it. I haven't watched it since, but I did. It did encourage me because I didn't know it was a really bad 4K until like about a year after I watched it, and we all watched it in here. Great audio, I'll be honest. But like everyone was like, "Wow, this film looks like it was filmed yesterday," and I'm like, "Yeah, it kind of looks a bit off, but sure, it looks pretty good." You know, back when that to the casual member, all of my family, will look at the Terminator 2 4K and be like, "This looks great," because it looks plastic, but that's fine because there's no grain. I'm like, that's not the point of a movie. If it's made of grain, it should be healthy. Oh my god, it's like looking at a bald, sick cancer child patient and being like, you look great because you've got no hair. You know, like ignoring the problem of everything else. You know, that's a really weird example, but you get the point. It's not as dreadful as an equivalent, but yeah. Anyway, I get the point across. So yeah, what I did for that was someone was selling the steelbook release for Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It wasn't actually a steelbook. It's one of those ones where they have a Blu-ray case, but then there's got like a tin container that wraps around it. So I bought that. It was like a limited edition release. It's like $30, but it came with one disc, and which now houses Terminator 3 as a Blu-ray as a DVD, because for some reason I had a spare DVD of that movie lying around. What the fuck? But I realized that the DVD copy I had of the movie Terminator 2 had both cuts of the movie, including the extended cut, which was the one that I grew up with. Fun fact, there are 3 cuts of this movie, and the Blu-ray I got, which was like the Skynet edition, which has the least DNR, because there are Blu-rays that have more DNR, which I almost got one, and I was like, wait, do more research. So I did more research, found the Skynet edition, turns out that was the best one to get, so I got that one, and it fucking slaps. It comes with 3 editions of the movie, including the one I haven't seen yet, which is like, I think when it ends positively with Sarah Connor, like, as an old lady seeing John Connor with his daughter or some shit. And I'm like, hey, that sounds great, but I probably won't watch that. But at the same time, I would, if I do watch this film, what do I watch? Do I watch the extended cut, the one I grew up with? Do I watch the theatrical cut? Do I watch the one that I haven't even seen yet? Oh, the options. And I haven't even watched that movie in like 3 years because I prefer the original. Anyway. But yeah, so that's what I did to fix that problem. So at least if I move out, my parents can deal with the 4K. I don't care. It did actually come with a set, which has been buried since, but like, JB had these 4K sets to get people interested, where it's like this long rectangular set. They had it for Saving Private Ryan, Gladiator. I think they had it for another film. They definitely had it for Terminator 2. So I bought those 3. They were all on sale when I bought them, luckily. It was like 20% off, so it wasn't that much. They were still quite expensive, but not terrible. And they came with a really bad box, and the other half of where the Blu-ray is, because it's the equivalent size, was like a kind of foamy plastic thing, and then so like, what the fuck is even the point of that? But it comes with a really long booklet, which only one of them was good. I think the Saving Private Ryan one was good. Because I think that one also had like a bit of an essay in it as well, not just images, whereas Terminator 2 was base and Gladiator. I think they were just basically images, but it gave me the 4K of those 2 films as well, and let's be fair, they look great in 4K. So, you know, one rotten egg doesn't spoil the rest of the bunch in this case, because Saving Private Ryan in 4K is fucking gorgeous and terrifying. It's a really loud film. So yeah, that's my journey with Pirates of the Caribbean and the nightmare of bad 4Ks, which is like the polar opposite of the previous video, which is examining, again, an element of, is buying physical media worth it? And to the casual consumer, sure, they probably bought the 4K and wouldn't have even realized. They're like, fuck yeah, 5 movies for $5, all on 4K, that sounds great. They probably don't watch special features, they probably don't have a Blu-ray player, and don't even realize it's 4K. I don't know. I don't know how dumb the regular consumer is. Like, the best equivalent I have personally is like my dad. But actually, no, my mum. My dad still likes buying 4Ks and stuff. He likes to at least get a good upgrade and whatever. He doesn't always buy a good upgrade, but he likes to. My mum, on the other hand, will buy DVDs instead of Blu-rays. But I don't consider her like a dumb consumer, like a stupid consumer. I'm like, she's just a casual consumer. She will buy DVDs because she has a portable DVD player because that's what suits her better. She doesn't care for picture and sound quality as long as she can watch it. That's why they have streaming services, because they're regular folks. So, it is what it is. Just as an overall, do your research. If you care for special features, good. If you don't, you need to. They're good. Even if you don't watch them, hence why I have 2 different sets of Pirates of the Caribbean now. To be fair, the smaller one I got was really fucking cheap. It was like $10, I think. So it wasn't like a bad use of my money, and it was kind of a cool little pack. So I was kind of down for that. So yeah, physical media can be a very foreboding thing. But if you do your research, or if you give a shit to do your research, it can be well worth it in the end. Also, fuck Disney. So, yeah. See you next year, next time, next month. I don't know. This is kind of a part 2, and that's like the end of the part 2. If you didn't watch part 1, it'll be linked up there probably. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time. I won't dab, but you will. Whoa. My knee.